what's up, y'all? Brian the Divine Healer here with you with a little technical difficulties. Apparently the camera was reversed, so I had to set it up right. So just had to stop my music real quick. How you doing? You guys doing all right? Cool. So we're doing a little life coaching here. I'm going to be in between a bunch of things, right? So basically, I just wanted to reach out because I miss you guys. I told you I was going to take a couple days off, but I couldn't stand it, right? So yeah, let me turn the camera around because I can't see the comments and all that. Hold on. Yes. Get this right. So then hopefully I get to see y'all. Sorry about the mess of flipping the camera and all that good stuff, right? Get it right. Roar. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. All right. Slim fuzzy over here, no fuzzy. Let me see, let me fix this real quick. Clean the camera. All right, there it is. Yeah, a little better, a little clearer, right? So welcome, come on in, my friends, right? Let's say to flip the camera around. She's still off. Can't with that. Let me see. One more time, I should get it right. Bring it up a little higher. That's about okay. That's all I can do for right now, right? Woo, there you go. That's for you. All right, so like I said, this is some life coaching, some random advice, just things to cope with everyday things, right? So in the meantime, I'm going to be whipping up a little dish, right? So you got some scraps in your refrigerator, that you're kind of trying to put a meal together. I'm going to show you the healthiest way how to do that, okay? So I got a few ingredients already kind of mixed up, and I'm just going to throw them all out there for you. One is my special drink, okay? It's super delicious. It's green tea, right? It's green tea with cinnamon, okay? Sun tea, right? So it's an iced tea. It's cold tea, right? You can make hot tea too, but it also got some cloves in there, okay? Some cloves, and I have other batches that I'm working on, but this is for like herbal remedies, right? Because green tea is obviously healthy for you, obviously, and the clove has some phenomenal effects, right? The cloves are basically an anesthesia, anesthetic. So you got a toothache, whack that shit in there, it'll be fine. The cinnamon also promotes, anti-inflammatory, all these other things. So when I make the tea, it's like perfect, right? And it's kind of got all these different healthy ingredients that really, boost your immune system. Does a lot of amazing things, okay? So that's just kind of that, right? So let's get started here. I'm gonna get all my ingredients set up, right? I kind of preset it for y'all, right? So we're gonna do a little, like I said, random stuff, right? So first of all, I got some veggies, right? I got some veggies here, right? I got cucumber, and then I got some zucchini squash, right? So what we're gonna kind of do here, you can add other things to it, right? You can add tomatoes, you can add whatever you want. But we're gonna make like a kind of a cheap way of making antipasta, right? We're not gonna have all the fancy ingredients, just a couple limited things we're gonna put up in there. So let me get my slicer and dicers, right? And we're gonna whip this up real fast. Get all my utensils out, right? So I'm gonna just talk while I work, okay? So I'm gonna just slice up a couple of these here. We're gonna mix it all up in a nice bowl for y'all, right? And like I said, it's like an antipasta, right? So we're really gonna get into some good stuff here. All right, and this could be for like a lunch, even for a dinner, right? So, yeah, how you guys doing? You doing okay? Good. All right, so, let's talk about coping skills, okay? How do we cope with certain things, certain people, certain ways, right? And I tell you, some of it's really hard to do, right? Some people you just can't deal with, right? And some people, it's marginal where you can, and then sometimes you can't. So, what do we do, right? we keep chopping up these cucumbers and zucchini squash, right? Yeah, so like for people in general, right? To deal with people that might be annoying, piss you off, all the other kind of stuff. Just look at the situation, right? If we take our emotions out of the situation, and guess what? Now we're only going to see things at face value. And that's the trick for coping with things. It's really looking at things at face value, okay? So, if you got like a person that's just kind of like randomly annoying, right? And you're like, oh my God. Well, look at what they're talking about, you know. See if it's in alignment with you. Maybe you can give an opinion. Maybe you can give some advice. However that might fit for you, right? But that situation could go two ways. One, like I said, they could be annoying a little bit, and you just deal, right? Like I said, give them advice, support, whatever. But for the people that are intentional, like the narcissists, there's no hope. I'm just saying, there's like absolutely no hope. So, what you really should try to do is analyze the situation, right? And so, the best way to really avoid dealing and sticking with this kind of person mentality behavior is just completely ignore them, okay? Just ignore them, right? Eventually, they'll go away. Sometimes they won't be. Sometimes you gotta block them, right? Sometimes you gotta take a criminal restraining order out of them. However that might fit for your case, right? But that's basically that in a nutshell, okay? So I'm just kind of cubing these up, right? Cutting them into fours. Because like I said, we're gonna make a little antipasta. And I'm just random going off on every kind of different topic here for y'all, right? But some of y'all, I really talk to you guys in the comments. And it seems like you guys go through a lot of things. Okay, and I'm really glad that I have this channel to help you guys through that. And the tarot does work, but I do have my website if you guys need like a personal reading, whether it's live coaching, tarot card reading, or even some spiritual advice, right? It's all there for you, so go check out my website. And I actually got some new things set up, right? Just got some memberships going on, right? So if you're kind of tired of the tube and you just want to go and just not deal with the ads and all the other garbage that's kind of on there. Not saying everybody's garbage, but you know what I mean. Some people are just very particular, right? So if you go on my website, I do have pricing plans, obviously, for the tarot and the personal readings and life coaching and stuff like that. But also there's a member section, right? A member section. So if you want to subscribe, there's a live feature, so we can do this live, right? And also there's a subscription for my videos, right? So you can either become a monthly subscriber and watch unlimited videos, or if you want to take it a little more simple, go ahead and you can buy the video for $2.99, right? And it's yours forever, right? You can download it, it's yours forever, right? So that's that. Okay, so this is gonna be real simple, real easy. Like I said, just get a bunch of stuff, put it all together, and I'm gonna whip it up. So I took some spaghetti, right? I had some leftover spaghetti that I made, and we're gonna whip this up. Okay, so I'm gonna just take some spaghetti here. I'm gonna put it on the plate. I'm making a mess, right? All right, so we're gonna just kind of set it up on there, and then we're gonna add my special secret sauce, right? That's a lot of spaghetti, but I can't with the fumbling, right? Maybe I should be on a cooking show. Nonetheless, little spaghetti there. Right, so then I got the cucumbers all diced up, ready to go, and then the squash. But here's the secret ingredient, right? This is gonna be your dressing, okay? And I made it from scratch. It's brand new, right? So it's an oil and vinegar mix. It's an olive oil, and some apple cider vinegar, right? Mix those two together, right? Throw in a little hot sauce with that, And man, I'm telling you, it's fire. Look at that. Ooh, right? Kind of looks sloppy from way over there. But wait till you see I get on it. Right? So I took that with the apple cider vinegar, the oil, and then I put some blue cheese in there, right? You can do ranch, you do blue cheese, I did the hot sauce, and wow, that's some fire, right? So I got these cold noodles here because we're gonna make, like I said, that antipasta thing, right? So I already cubed up some of these, and we're just gonna kind of, toss them on there, right? I made too much, but that's how I always do it. Right? Simple, plain, easy, right? Healthy, very healthy, right? Because cucumbers and the squash have a lot of good nutrients in it, especially when it's not cooked, right? So these aren't cooked. These are straight from the vine, ka-chow, in your face, right? So then we're gonna take this, right? Take my special sauce. Let me just kind of stir that up there. All right. Oh, it's perfect. I'm just gonna pour it over the top, right? Just like that. Ooh wee, that looks so good. Heck yeah. Hold on, let me grab a little pepper, right? Throw some pepper on there. And then that's really it, right? That's your cold dish. That's your little antipasta. Or however you say it. Antipasta, whatever. And that's the done deal, right? Look at that bad boy. Look at that. See? Quick and easy, cheap and sleazy. You like that? All right. So that's that. There you go. Done with that deal. Right? I'm not really doing a cooking show, but I probably should because I'm a really good cook.
Alert from lodging window.
I don't want to log out. So don't mind the distractions. I got some videos up here loading. Like I just told you guys, I have my videos loading up to my website. You wanna buy them? Go right on there. You want to get a membership to watch unlimited videos? It's on there. This is some good stuff right here. Wow, that's delicious. You just put the stuff away. Okay, so I know a lot of people go through depression. I really know this. I mean, I have PTSD, and so technically they classify that as depression. And that kind of gets me upset because really, it's the farthest from the truth. PTSD is really an emotional reaction to a physical incident, right? And there's a lot of people that actually go through and suffer with PTSD, right? So there are definitely different levels of that. You can get into a car accident and you're traumatized, right? You don't necessarily have to be physically hurt, but it's the emotional reaction. It's the emotional trauma that gets added onto it. So it makes it very difficult for some people to cope, right? It really is. So, there's other things that happen that I really can't say on, YouTube because I'll get flagged and all that. But, it's doing things against people's will, in a sexual manner. And so that is very traumatizing for a lot of people, right? And so, in my experience, because I'm a 2-time war vet, right? I went to war twice. Seen a lot of stuff that probably I wish nobody could ever see. I mean, I've seen death, I've seen just mangled stuff, and right? So those incidences, especially when it's a life or death situation, it kind of gets imprinted in your brain. It really does. Which means the memory is going to be there, but that memory is going to lead you to an emotional response, right? So now we're going to try to figure out, one, you can never erase the memory. You can't. The past is always going to be there, so you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to cope with it, right? So now we're going to look at the emotional response, because The physical event is the trigger, okay? And the emotional response is the reaction, right? So you can't get rid of the triggers, because if you got into a car accident, one day you're gonna have to get in your car and go drive again. So you're gonna have to, what I've learned to do and go through is, it's kind of like, what do they call it? Oh shoot. It's like forcing yourself to go through the event, right? But it's going to be on a different level, because now we're going to work on the emotions. So when you can face the trigger, you're ready for it. You might go ahead and get in your car and do it, start to get out of the driveway and panic. Those emotions come back and you freeze up, you pull back and drive when you go home, right? You're not being able to prepare yourself for that emotional trigger, okay? So some people do therapy, right? Depends on the level of trauma that you've been through, right? There's, sexual abuse, even mental and physical abuse. There's a lot of different things that could trigger that, right? So therapy kind of works, because I've been through a lot of therapy, and honestly, it's just like red tape. To me, it's just red tape. It's like, I'll hear what you got to say, da-da-da-da-da. I might even give you an exercise or homework, but I've experienced kind of no help with that, right? Maybe one was a retired police officer, and he knew how to handle, PTSD with police officers, but not military. So he was totally lost. So he resourced through the VA, got some good information, and did some homework for me, right? It means he gave me these worksheets to identify my triggers, what I was feeling, how I was feeling, when I was feeling, da-da-da-da. Writing out the story, telling this story, so that way, in my mind, when you write something down to when you speak it, sometimes you'll see inconsistencies, right? Because if enough time has passed, then we're gonna maybe deal with false memories, okay? So that's just a natural thing of implanting things that your memory is a little fogged on, because you've been kind of out of that trauma for a minute, right? Like it wasn't just yesterday. And so people, places. No.
Are you sure you want to quit all applications and log out now?
I don't. You bother me every 5 seconds. Sorry, I'm uploading some videos to my website. But yeah, so those traumas kind of are going to be based off of how ready are you to take back your life? How ready are you to cope and get back into reality? I'm not saying you're not in it, but when you're dealing with emotions, sometimes it's not reality, right? People can put things on you to make you have an emotional reaction that's not even in your personality. You know what I mean? And so that's a struggle in itself. But I found out that through the practice of meditation, now meditation is different, man. I mean, a lot of people have this thing about meditation, and you gotta, dress up as like a Buddhist monk, and you gotta have the beads, and you gotta be next to a waterfall and all this other stuff. No. I mean, you can, but everybody has different ways of trying to meditate. So in short, basically meditation is just sitting still, be still, right? Turn off any external noises, radio, shut your door, turn your phone on to, vibrate. I personally put it on do not disturb, right? So then that way you have silence, right? Silence. And all you gotta do is just close your eyes. That's it. You don't have to think about nothing, right? I mean, you could put on some vibrational music, to help you kind of feel relaxed. But the whole point is to get relaxed. So shutting out the world is one step of getting you relaxed. The second part is letting your mind just wander. Wander, okay? Let it go down the street. Let it go to friggin' Italy. Wherever your mind is gonna go, that's where it's gonna go. Don't control it. Don't start thinking of things that you have to preload for your meditation, because it's not gonna work. You're only setting yourself up, and you're not gonna get the full benefits of this meditational practice, right? And so for me to learn how to be still, that was a big part of meditation, right? I mean, you could even be in the tub, taking a bath, sitting there closing your eyes and just zoning out. And then in some weird way, your troubles will come via your subconscious with an answer. It really does. That's why we really try to enforce. I mean, we as in the spiritual community, we try to enforce these things. That's why we say you gotta get grounded, go outside, right? Because you're too busy in your house. You're running around with your kids. You gotta, cook and clean and do all this stuff, and you're just all over the place. So your brain is just overloaded. So when you go outside, you take your shoes off, you hear the birds. You put your feet in the grass, right? It's a different environment, and it causes a different reaction, right? So when you employ those kind of things, it really, really helps because, like I said, your subconscious will just find the answer because you are being quiet. You're being still. You're just letting the answer come to you. And that is, I think, the best approach. Now, people use the singing bowls and, like I said, the vibrational music and chanting and blah, 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 right? That's good for you. If that's going to work, that's great, right? Simple, plain, just like the dish I made here, right? Simple and plain, because that's what we try to do. So when you finally now start to get yourself on an emotional calm level because you were triggered and you have this, we were talking about PTSD, so you'll have that trigger, and then now we're going to be preparing for that emotional response, okay? So when you try to leave your drive, when you come back in, and then you sit down and be still for a quiet minute, then guess what? You're kind of letting that go, right? And then all of a sudden, you're gonna start to feel now emotionally grounded where then you could actually make it a second attempt. So then you get your keys, you go in the car and you go. Now you go down all the way to the end of the street, and then your brain starts kicking in. What if I turn this corner and I'm coming to the lights and then bam, someone hits me, right? Then you turn around, you go home. Well, you're not quite ready for that yet, okay? So you gotta have to do a little more grounding, which means if you're going to do what we call exposure therapy, which means basically force yourself to get back in that car after a car accident and go through it no matter what, that's the first attempt. Okay, so preloading in your mind before your meditation, before your silence, before you be still, you preload in your mind that I have to go to the store. And it's about 20 miles, so walking to the store is going to be impossible. I mean, not for everybody, but pretty much, right? So, when you preload that mentality of I'm going to do it, and then you go be still. The next time you get in your car to go down the street, you're going to make it past the lights. I mean, you're going to make it to the store. But you're probably going to be sweating the whole time, right? Like for me, when I came home from my tours of duty overseas, there was no counseling. There was no reintegrating your experiences into civilian, okay? So I had a total of about 2.5 years of overseas, all combined into one, pretty much. So the events and the traumas that I went through of, I don't know about living 15 months every day thinking that and feeling and knowing that any minute you could die, it's pretty emotionally challenging. It really is. So then your emotions start kind of taking over your logic, okay? And so this is why that exposure therapy thing is really good, because when you can prepare yourself mentally, I'm gonna get in my car, you do it, so you fail. You come back in, like I said, you get yourself grounded, you be still, you find your minute, right? But you preload your thought of I'm gonna do it because I have to do it. My kids need food, my dog needs food, I need food, whatever, right? So in some weird way, when you pre-program that idea, I'm going to do it, and then you let your subconscious take over by that meditation, which is being still, the answer comes to you, right? So then Now, when you force yourself, because that's what exposure therapy is forcing yourself to go through and relive the event. Not saying you're planning on getting another car wreck, but your emotions is feeling that you're ready and it's going to happen. And that's what usually deters people from continuing and getting past that issue. Okay. So like I said, for me, when I got home, it was very difficult for me to go into crowded places. 4th of July, forget about it. I lived through so many things that the 4th of July just was a constant trigger for me to feel that my life was in danger. And it wasn't going to work. And everybody convinced me any which way to just to go through it, suck it up. You know, you can do it. Come on, let's go, right? I was like, hell no, y'all go ahead. I'll be fine. Like, here, you know, you can have a couple beers, whatever. I'm good, right? The shit ain't going to work for me, right? So I had to find that time to pre-plan in my mind that I needed to go to Walmart. But it's a crowded place. What am I going to do? I'm stuck, right? So that preloading in my mind when I got myself grounded to attempt to go and do it, because I've done it several times before I actually was successful. I would get in through the doors of Walmart and then see all the people and be like, nope, I'll wait for you in the car, honey, right? And so one of the tricks that my counselor had told me, he said, you got to put yourself in a mindset to see that you're not in the same situation, which basically means the trigger that I was having was because I was overseas during wartime. Okay. Now, some people consider going to Walmart a battle in itself, right? It's kind of combat-ish, but it's not the same. Okay. So when I preloaded that in my mind to say, you know what? Walmart's not Iraq. No one's in Walmart wanting to kill me, because that's what really happened overseas. You have people that wanted to kill you. So when I preloaded that, did my little calming my emotions down, getting grounded, making the attempt, I was so racked emotionally, but I kept pushing through it to keep saying to myself, no one's here going to hurt me. No one even knows me. Nothing like that. So I was talking down the trigger, all at the same time of having the emotional reactions, the sweaty palms, the fast heartbeat, the anxiety, the fight or flight moment. And so, like I said, after about several attempts, I finally was able to push through and get my damn shopping done. Okay, so now we get to the end where I got to cash out, right? And so I'm triggered, sweating, right? I go to cash out, I'm doing my card, and there was a guy behind me. And it was real too close because he was like looking like over my shoulder. I don't know what he was doing. Seeing if I was done cashing out, whatever. He was just impatient. And so he got real close where I could feel his breath on the back of my neck. I turned around, was like, boom! Pushed that dude like 4 people back. Said, get back! Because that was part of my trigger in Iraq, because I was in charge of security. So I have people that close. And when you're fearing for your life, you don't know who's who. You don't trust anybody, right? So that was very difficult, right? So then after that moment, when I got home, I realized this guy was just a punk. He was impatient. He was trying to hurry me up. He really wasn't trying to hurt me, because he wasn't. So when you put that sense of reality on yourself, even though you're kind of going through those triggers, that's preloading your mind. So the next time I come in, and next time someone's going to breathe down my neck because I'm trying to cash out and I'm not going fast enough, well, then I don't have to react in the same way. Because for one, I knew I could take that dude out quicker than shit, right? But it was more of the preloading, that idea that I'm not going to get hurt. So that built me the confidence to expose myself to the trigger, all at the same time of going through that emotional, oh my God, this is crazy, what am I even doing, right? And then so with repetitive tries, you start to weaken the emotional response from it, right? So the more you expose yourself that way, then the less the emotional trauma comes and follows. right? So then eventually it's fine where I can just roam around Walmart for an hour or whatever and just be la-di-da-di-da, you know, and not have any issues. And I think that is very amazing because, you know, nowadays people are just so busy, right? So busy, they don't have time to sit still and kind of let things happen. So there's also people that don't want you to go and heal. When we call those narcissist people, those are the people I talked about before in the video that are annoying. And how do you cope with annoying people? Well, you got to look at the situation. If that's just in their nature, they're just talky, chatty people, and that kind of offsets what you are about, but you're still friends, and that could annoy you, that could trigger you, then you could blow up on this person and say you're always talking too much and I can't deal with it. When you understand a person from their perspective, then that kind of changes things, right? So then now it softens up and then you could be like, okay, I can deal with you, right? But there are people that just keep badgering you and badgering you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and keep stepping on that trigger for you, right? So it's kind of good and kind of bad to put yourself in that situation around that person because they're really teaching you a lesson on how to deal with the trigger of your emotional responses. And man, that is not easy. I mean, we could break it down to not just the grocery store, but we could break it down to your kids. We could break it down to your coworkers, right? Family. And we know that all can be pretty hectic and some people can just lose it, right? Especially when you're dealing with multiple kids, multiple situations, and you gotta be that parent to really multitask, right? And handle that stuff. So preloading in your mind that you have to accept the challenge because those are your kids and they all need help for their homework at the same damn time. So when you expose yourself in that way, then you're going to start preloading plans, right? So what do I got to do? Okay, I got to sit all the kids down from high school to elementary school and, you know, kind of compartmentalize what you're going to do. And so you will naturally, automatically start losing those triggers, okay? Because in that preloading, it's kind of a form of control, right? So you're going to get control in the situation mentally. And then when you're going through it, your emotions are kicking in. And so if you keep up with the plan, then your emotions get less and less and less. And then it all seems to just kind of fade away, right? For a little bit short time. But what are you going to do if you prepared yourself all of that and you go down the street to go to Walmart again and boom, you get hit by a car. And then it all comes back. So it's almost like all the work that you put in is now gone because you've had that second incident. And this is what we call multiple traumas, okay? And so when you have to deal with multiple traumas, you need more effective solutions. Sometimes that exposure therapy is not going to be just enough, okay? I did it first time, I was okay. Second time I did it, I got hit by a car again. Oh my God, now I'm never getting in my car. I can't live like that, my friend. This doesn't work, right? I mean, they have grocery deliveries and other things that could help, right? So maybe you engage in those things to help you kind of smooth things up, right? But there's gonna be a way that you have to say in your mind, which is that preloading the thoughts, is that I cannot control the way other people, the way, you know what, I'm gonna blow you up. Sorry, I'm gonna just slow this down here. I'm gonna just shut it off. Give me 1 sec. Trying to, like I said, upload those videos. And I got a lot of videos for you because I put the whole month of September on my website, right? So, yeah. It's taking too long for my computer to say, hey, are we shutting down or not? So by the time the 5th time, see, I'm preloading. I knew it was gonna happen. I had the emotional response. I was like, smash, right? But my advanced techniques was like, listen, I'll just shut it down. Because then I can come back later and reload them if they're not uploaded in that time that I had them going. So that's what I mean. Multiple traumas, multiple situations. You have to really gain a better plan, right? So walking in your grass and listening to some easygoing music might not do it for you, okay? So when you really now understand that you don't have any control over people driving in the way that they do, that's gonna in some way subconsciously help you through that second trigger. It will. Lessening some of your emotional response because you know Jesus got the wheel, right? So then you're not going to really shortchange yourself. It might take you longer the second time to go ahead and do it a third time, but always reaching for different ideas to complement and soothe our emotional responses is huge, right? And I like to do the visualizations, right? The visualizations and the breathing technique really helps to try to slow a lot of things down, right? And so those work for anxiety attacks, panic attacks, things like that. And it's okay. You get it done, you work it out, right? So yeah, that's pretty much that, right? So we touch base on some life hacks, right? A little antipasta for you over here, some homemade tea, right? And a little emotional response to your triggers. It all works out in the end, but you got to have faith in yourself. You got to want to overcome. If you're going to claim yourself up and you're not going to want to do these things, then I'm going to have to sneeze. Hold on. Oh my God. Don't do it because it's going to be like 20 in a row. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So planning some things, right? Visualizations really work good for me. You can research on how to do different visualizations. Like for me, there's one specific technique that really works perfect. Okay. So I just imagine myself in like a white robe. Right? A little silky, a little smooth because I'm bougie like that, right? But I'm in a dark place. And the only thing that's light is the robe that I got on, right? So then I imagine somebody coming into the room also wearing a white robe. And then they come at my feet because I'm laying down in my visualization, right? And so they have a bowl of water, okay? They have a bowl of water at my feet. And so this person takes the water and just splashes it over onto my feet, okay? And so in the visualization of that, inside all the negativity, all the dark energy, all that stuff is black, okay? So when the water is being poured onto my feet, it's light, okay? And so now I visualize that water, which is the light, going from my feet up to my shins, up to my knees, up to my thighs. And it's overriding all of the black, right? And it goes all the way up to the head. And then she takes a towel and then she wipes my feet dry. So then in that idea is that now I'm breathing in as they're pouring the water and that light is going up all the way to the top of me. And then when she's wiping my feet clean, that is now the visualization from the head down to the feet of all that black energy through the breathing out. Because you're breathing in when that water is being put on your feet, cleansing your feet, bringing that light up. It now is being washed away by the towel. So you're breathing out and now that light source that was pushing all that out is now coming back and filling your whole entire body with that light. So where's the dark going to go? It's going to go out. Because anything in a container, you have oil and vinegar, right? It's going to mix. So one's going to go to the top, one's going to stay at the bottom. Okay? So now that dark black comes out. And now she's got it in the towel. And now she puts it in the water and wrings it out. And now all that water is dark and black. Okay? I know it's a long visualization thing, but this is one of the things that I've learned in my therapy over the years. That kind of visualization of the cleansing really does perpetuate that kind of grounding, that feeling of getting ready to handle your emotional responses, okay? And it really calms you down, especially with that breathing technique, right? So research a couple things, right? Because the internet is full of all these kind of things, especially YouTube, right? And it's just amazing what you can find, because to me, with my continual traumas, now as an adult, but as I was growing up, I started running out of things to help me deal. And it was getting to be where all the work that I had put in was now a wash, because now all that stuff was coming back. So then you always have to learn, you always have to grow. So doing more research, getting that knowledge, applying that knowledge, and really sticking to it, gave me that plan B. Right? I'm probably gonna have to get a plan C and a plan D and a plan E, because, like I said, it's just the traumas that just continually want to fall in my lap. And that's okay. I'm strong enough to handle it. I have the mentality to really take on that challenge. As an empath, it does suck to absorb all that kind of energy and negativity. So when we have our practices, it's the cleansing, right? So you could sage, right? That's a good way of doing it, right? So it's a visualization, it's a mental thing, right? And then emotionally you feel better because now you cleanse your house and now you don't have that worry. Okay. So that's pretty much that, my friends. So I thank you for coming out, right? Leave in the comment. Tell me what you guys do for some home food cooking, right? Some trash scraps, leftovers. What do you make? How you make it? Fix it up, right? Let me know. I have a ton of more ideas that I'm going to share with y'all, but I just want to hit this up as that life coaching thing, because we all experience life in different ways, but we're all here in life for the same reason. You let me know what you think that reason is in the comments, and I'll be glad to get back to you guys. So, thanks for coming on out to this live. Also, check out my website. I got some major benefits out there for y'all. Please hit it up. Binge my playlist. Pretty soon, my playlist will be on my website, and then, easy peasy, no stress. That being said, my friends, be blessed, be brave, be well. Peace and pray every day, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Okay.